On Indigenous Peoples Day, tribal leaders from all over Maine gathered in Bangor to announce their support for Kamala Harris for president. The tribal leaders have launched the Native Americans for Harris-Walz coalition in Maine. Tribal leaders spoke about the importance of educating tribal nations on voting, especially in communities with limited access. Stories from community leaders and young people stress the importance of getting Native Americans to the polls.
I really hope to empower Wabanaki people and Indigenous people in Maine to get out there and vote and to knock down some barriers around that. And I hope that we can set a good example that even though we're a smaller population, our voice really matters, and the right to vote is a sacred thing that we fought hard for.
The gathering included a training session on different voting tools for supporters. Organizers also provided information on how people can educate their neighbors and friends on the voting process.